Yeah, no competition like no I in my team. No, all they wish for thinking or is it a nice dream? And we can see them coming, no need for high beam. Decision making, change a player, just do the right thing. Wasn't with me in the gym, so how can you contest?
On today's episode of Post Point, we are having a funeral for the king that was the SEC Football Conference. We're going to take a look at those who are performing CPR, trying to keep the king who was alive. And we will debate Full Sail Live's SEC Insider on this subject today on Post Point. This episode of Post Point is brought to you by independent insurance salesperson Wanda Washington, a local independent life insurance agent that can get you covered even with health issues, no medical exam, and no one is turned down. Call or text Wanda Washington at 843-245-0206 for your no obligation quote. She could save you thousands of dollars. Just contact her at 843-245-0206 and let her help you and your family. Welcome to Post Point with your host, Winton McCullough. Hey, it's time to talk some sports, y'all. I got my black on for today's funeral service for the king that was. And FYI, when I say the king that was, I'm talking about the SEC's dominance over college football. And there's two type of entities that are keeping this conference reputation alive, or trying to keep it alive. One, the pundits, and two, former athletes. First, let's talk about the pundits. There are two sayings that comes to mind when I think about the pundits. One, they are too close to the situation. And two, they can't see the forest from the trees. They are so invested into how these programs are built, they are stuck in the past when nobody was building programs like that of the SEC. Now they can't see programs outside of the conference have caught up with the king that was. They like to bring up the past and a lot that happened during the BCS era. Or they bring up things that mean nothing in regards to the big picture.
Mississippi State, they beat Arizona State, which was in the playoffs last year. So It is a very deeply Vanderbilt won on the road and beat Virginia Tech from the ACC.
After the pundits, you have the former athletes that played in the SEC. They talk as if time stopped when they left the SEC. They talk as if the shift in conferences and NIL hasn't balanced the playing field. When I watch them, I think, what are you talking about? Top tier prospects will go to the SEC to play in big time games. Because of NIL, players are looking to chase the bag now instead. It's a new day and time. The talent is spread it out. You got former powerhouses like Florida that are a shell of themselves. Things done changed, and those former athletes are advocating for things to go back to what they were to a degree.
I don't understand why they keep doing it and continue to do it at top tier SEC schools at that. Stop hiring coaches that does not understand the value, the marketability, the expectations of what it's like to play and coach in the SEC.
Well, you got the experts or insiders bringing up bottom feeders and former athletes preaching SEC dominance. Yes, they're advocating for things to go back to the way they was. These are the signs of the times. But I'll be the pallbearer and put to rest the king that was the SEC Football Conference dominance over college football. It's time to go from the funeral home to the courtroom. I sat down with Full Sail Live's SEC insider David Nagy, who's been following the SEC Football Conference for a little over 2 decades. And for the past 2 years, he's been honing the necessary skills to bring you the facts based on what's going on the field of play. He's going to argue that the king that was is still on his throne. This episode of Post Point is brought to you by independent insurance salesperson Wanda Washington, a local independent life insurance agent that can get you covered even with health issues, no medical exam, and no one is turned down. Call or text Wanda Washington at 843-245-0206 for your no obligation quote. She could save you thousands of dollars. Just contact her at 843-245-0206 and let her help you and your family. All right, David, so you have a chance here to breathe some life back into the SEC. Tell us why they are still the most dominant conference.
All right, well, I'll tell you why. And it's going to be a little bit of a mix of recent data and historical data. So, as for the historical data, since 1990, the SEC, and this is excluding Texas and Oklahoma and excluding Washington in the Big Ten now, the SEC has the Big Ten by 10 national championships at 17-7. In that time frame, 6 different SEC teams have won a national title compared to 4 Big Ten teams. So where I'm going with this is I'm using it to say that, yes, the Big Ten has had recent success, but so has the Big Ten and ACC as recent as 2013 and 2014, where there was a 2-year drought for the SEC as well.
Interesting points you have there, some historical data mixed in with current data as well. But let me tell you why you're wrong. For one, dynasties are not built over historical data. And football is a what have you done for me lately type situation or league. And dynasties are built within, let's say, 3 to 5 years. Recently, the Big Ten has won those championships. The SEC hasn't. And we're not even just talking about the Big Ten here. We're talking about the field in which, because the college football playoff is here, it's leveled the playing field, so to speak. This is the BCS era is gone. You don't have to, the whole season is not a playoff, and you don't have weeks to prepare for one opponent, in which when you're a juggernaut and you have those weeks to prepare for one opponent, you're going to have an advantage there. Now there's a playoff where you got weeks to prepare for multiple scenarios, and because it's a tournament, we know that pressure bust pipes. Also, the NIL has leveled up the playing field. The talent back in the day, let's say you mentioned 2014, 2015, in those times, yeah, kids wanted to be getting noticed. They wanted to be on the biggest stage. That means you had to go to the SEC. It's not like that anymore because we know that money talks. But for those reasons that I point out, it's time to bury the king that was the SEC.
I don't think it's quite time for a funeral yet there, Winton. Yeah, I do notice the recent success of other conferences with the dawn of the NIL. And I don't think that the dawn of the NIL means that the SEC isn't the most dominant conference. It just means that the gap has narrowed just a little bit.
Let's talk about the fear factor. LSU with Les Miles and the boys, Urban Meyer, Georgia with
Mark Richt.
Mark Richt, thank you, David. Mark Richt, and you had Florida, Tennessee. All of these teams were feared at the same time. It's not like that anymore. You make some good points, David, but time will tell. The college football, we'll see what happens once the college football in. We'll have to revisit this topic. I want to thank you for sitting down with us and giving your take on if the SEC is still king in college football. But tell me what you think, chat. I'm going to leave a poll. Is the king that was the SEC now dead, or is the SEC still king for college football? That's going to do it for today's episode of Post Point. You know what to do. Like and subscribe to the pod. Until next time, peace. This episode of Post Point is brought to you by independent insurance salesperson Wanda Washington, a local independent life insurance agent that can get you covered even with health issues. No medical exam and no one is turned down. Call or text Wanda Washington at 843-245-0206 for your no obligation quote. She could save you thousands of dollars. Just contact her at 843-245-0206 and let her help you and your family.
Yeah, 762, slam it. You want to debate? My team harder than yours. We come harder.
DJ,
Yeah.
this a hit, boy.
No competition like no I in my team. No, are they wishful thinking or is it a nice dream? And we can see them coming, no need for high beams. Decision making, change a player, just do the right thing. Wasn't with me in the gym, so how can you contest? Walk on hilltop and ran many miles to be the best. Don't know what team I'm on, but I'm like how you see my chest. Look my uniform, I'm having it proudly way I'm dressed. The more I'm getting better, me more you getting worse. And thinking we competing, but nah, this ain't first. Keep your emotions in, cause this loss, it might hurt, bro. Of course we came to win, got the squares out our circle. They passed me the rock, I got us running up the scope. I pass it to my partner, he gon' run it up some more. Training solo dolo, we been win on one accord. Who y'all think the hardest in this little world of sport? Win the championship and why not go to Disneyland? We can change our plans like we can go and spend some bands. I'm a team player, so a loser's not a fan. The holiday season, watching sports with my fans. No competition like no I in my team. Are they wishful thinking or is it a nice dream? And we can see them coming, no need for high beams. Decision making, change a player, just do the right thing. Wasn't with me in the gym, so how can you contest? Walk on hilltop and ran many miles to be the best. Don't know what team I'm on, but I'm like how you see my chest. Got my uniform, I'm having it proudly way I'm dressed. Who better? I think we're better. We're cutting the hardest. You know what I'm saying? Y'all.